Hello, everyone. Today we are gathered here for a wonderful debate. Okay, so let me introduce all of you. She's Nandini Mehta, she's Riti Jain, she's Falguni Mehta, and he is Kushagra Jain, obviously. So they will introduce themselves one by one. Okay, so let us start with Nandini. Nandini, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I am Nandini Mehta. I am right now studying in BA B.Ed second year, and now my topic of debate is in favor of Indian culture.
Okay. So let me tell you all that we are having a debate on Western culture versus Indian culture. So which culture is best according to them? They will choose they will choose their side and then they will speak about that. Okay. So Nandini has chosen Indian culture. Okay, according to her, Indian culture is best. Now let us go to Riti Jain. Okay, Riti, introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Siti Jain. I am studying in class 7th and I'll be favoring Western culture today.
Okay, she looks very zealous. And what is your side? I didn't understand. You are in the favor of
Western culture,
Western
Western
culture.
culture.
Okay, okay. Okay, let's go to Falguni Mehta now.
Hi everyone, I'm Falguni Mehta. I had recently completed my graduation and I had pursued the course of BA B.Ed 4-year integrated course, and I'll speak today in supporting the motion, in supporting the favor of Indian culture. So I'm in favor of Indian culture.
Okay, and let's go to Kushagra Jain now.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kushagra Jain and I am pursuing my graduation in BA LLB. And today I am here to discuss on the topic in the favor of Western culture.
Okay, so we have two persons favoring Indian culture, and this is Riti Jain and Kushagra Jain. Sorry, Riti Jain and Kushagra Jain are favoring Western culture, right?
Yes,
Okay. And Nandini Mehta and Falguni Mehta, they both are favoring Indian culture. And I am not favoring or against any culture. I'll be neutral to all of them and will be sharing my points one by one, okay, to both of them. Now let's start with Nandini and Riti. Okay. So Nandini is in the favor of Indian culture and Riti in the favor of Western culture. So they will both put one points one after the other. So starting with Nandini.
Hello everyone, my topic of debate is in favor of Indian culture. As we all know that India is a land of diversity where different cultures, traditions, customs, religion they exist together. And before highlighting to before highlighting each and every point of this Indian culture, I just want to start my debate with a slogan that India is a country where heritage meets with the harmony. Now, one of the important aspects of our Indian culture is about family values. We all know that families play a very significant role in our Indian culture or in our Indian tradition. And if we see that since ancient time, these family traditions play a vital role in our country, where there's a there's a tradition of joint families where different generations they live together, where father, grandfather, their son they live together. And right now also, in many, if we see in present scenario, many joint families they live in rural areas or in urban areas. But on the other hand, in urban area there is a prevalence of nuclear families. So it is a very important part of our Indian culture that how the children who born in these joint families or even nuclear families also they learn various moral values. They learn various aspects. So harmony, love, respect, and a kind attitude, sympathy towards each other. These are some of the important elements that are incorporated within our Indian culture. So it is a very significant aspect of Indian culture. So that's all as a point of Indian tradition or of Indian culture from my side.
Okay, so very good, Nandini. You took out a very important point that India follows a strong. India has provided a strong emphasis on our family bonds. Like most of the times, we see that people are still living in joint families, which is rarely seen in the Western culture. So, what about the Western culture, Riti? Can you start your video and talk on the points of Western culture? Provide some points on the Western
Of course.
culture.
So, so Western culture has like Western culture has like we can there are they prefer nuclear families instead of joint families, and they
Kirti, to support you, we have Kushagra with you, so he can support at any time.
yeah, while respecting Indian culture's heritage, I argue that Western culture offers unique advantages, like particularly in terms of freedom, technology, technological innovation, and social progress.
Yes, that's a very important
And
point to put out. Yeah, this is very important that Western culture is having a technical advancement which is not shown in India till now. Like recently, also people are not aware of the technology. They don't even have a good smartphone in many urban as well as rural areas. So, what is your point, Falguni, about all this?
Okay, so I have to speak here in favor of Indian culture, and in this, my tiltness towards Indian culture is since from very beginning, and I would like to start my speech with a very popular quotation of Martin Luther King Jr. As you all know, he was an American philosopher. So he once said that whenever I go to other countries, so he said about that I go to other countries as a tourist, but when I come to India, I come here as a pilgrim. This itself is a compliment to Indian culture, as you all can see, that an outsider, basically an American philosopher, is telling such a great thing towards for India, and he is considering it as penetrating and appreciating India. He is saying so that India is a country of diversity. It is a country where unity in diversity principles, highlighted up the most. And in here, I had whatever I had found is that once Mark Twain also has said about India something that India is basically the cradle of human civilization, because one of the ancient civilizations in the world, that is Indus Valley civilization, had been originated on the land of Indus River, which is associated with India only. And to addition of that, India is considered as the mother of history, grandmother of the legend, great grandmother of the tradition, and all the valuable and inclusive materials have been, sewn up in the history of India. They have been, progressed so far in India. India is a land where the concept of collectivism is there. People live here in joint families, most of the cases, and because it has been a stereotype since long that people here used to live in collectivism, live in joint families, and they used to support each other, help each other, with due care of by helping themselves, and also by in a sorry, I'm not prepared today. I'll continue tomorrow. I'm not prepared with the content
Fine.
right now,
Okay,
so I can.
Falguni has put out some very, very important points that India is having a rich heritage. It is having multiple traditional rituals, the language here, everything is everything is sacred, and it allows many arts to be celebrated and preserved, right? And we also follow many religions at the same place, so all the religions are equally valued, equally followed, and like whoever are the followers, they are not there is no parity between like always there is a parity between them. So yeah, we follow all of this. But Kushagra, just tell me one thing, that only having the rituals and only having the tradition is important for a country to grow and develop? Like don't we need to have any technical things like scientific and technology, science and technology, which is prevailing in the Western society, right? Western countries are mostly known for all this. So only having these traditions and cultures, can a country run on all this? So Kushagra is in favor of Western culture, so he is gonna give some good points on that. So here to you, Kushagra. Go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. So I am here to support the Western culture, but before
Kushagra,
that,
just turn on your video.
uh,
Okay.
I am here. I am here to support the Western culture, but just to give a disclaimer, I am not disrespecting any other culture, or I am not promoting Western culture here. I am
Mm.
just telling a few points that may be in the favor of that particular culture. So, if we look out the basic definition of culture, so in my opinion, it is the collective experiences of the past and the future outcomes.
Hmm.
Like what my fellow competitor or my fellow participant, Miss Falguni, said about the spirituality and the rituals that are followed in Indian culture. And on the same points, like my fellow participant Riti also said that in West they prefer to live in nuclear families, and in Indian culture they prefer to live in joint families.
Hmm.
In West, and the emphasis is on individualism more, according to the more in differentiation to the Indian families or the Indian culture. In West, they promote scientific development, but in India, there are still some myths, concepts, and some stereotypes that I personally cannot say that they are drawbacking us, but they are somehow stopping us or pausing us to get over the developing part of that world. We, as a country, are still developing, and in West, most of the countries are developed. So it is very good that we are learning from them, and it was very good that they have learned a lot from us also. Like if I give you an example, then Yoga Day is now celebrated worldwide. You can say it is a festival for people. There are thousands and lakhs of coachings of yoga that are opened in the world that has gone from India. This craze has gone from India only. So Indian culture is something to manifest for everyone, but there are some certain drawbacks like the education, the equality. We as a country have written secular in our constitution, but we have not followed it for a long. because there are still some casteism in between the religions, every religion, whether you take example of any religion. So in west they do it very seriously. Their hospitality, their medical assurances, their education system, their science and research field, they have uh, always done some tremendous work in the favor of each and every field. Whenever their budget comes, or whenever they try to execute any action or any plan in a certain field, then they try to do their 100%. I am not disrespecting the Indian culture by saying that we are not doing enough to develop and to compete with the world, but we are still some steps back from those who have already gone and been in our elite list of the development.
Yes.
We have
So
been growing
anybody
as a
here to oppose this? Anybody here to oppose this?
Uh, I want to say something here. As my fellow participants said right now, that we are lacking in development and all that stuff. But in that context, I want to say that the problem is not in the development. Problem is in the blind following of Western culture by our youth. So our Indian youth are, most of us who are here belongs to Gen Z generation, and I personally believe that the you know blindly following of certain things without knowing it rigorously causes damage, and this is what is happening in case of India. As we are whatever a certain kind of fashion if come. For example, if Salman Khan, the popular celebrity, had started wearing a jeans which has more of the kinds of toes and turns in that, it is clear from the half. So every just because he had patented it, he had just weared it, so it had become a fashion now. But our Indian culture don't say that. Our Indian culture is unique in its kind, and if we go back in the history of our Indian culture, traces of evidences reflect that it clearly depicts that we had all the scientific adapted all the scientific techniques which were unknown to the world at that time. For example, I love history, and from that point of view, I had done some researches in the field of Indus Valley civilization, where I had heard that at the time of Mohenjo-daro, there were proper drainage system. The uh, domestic drain were connected to street drains were connected further to main drains. So all that scientific planning, management was there. And two crops were grown in the Kalibangan in Hanumangarh, one of the site of Indus Valley civilization, in the angle of 90 degrees, so that proper ventilation should be there for the crops. So such sort of thought process was there in the people at that time also. But the coming of Britishers, they had almost, ruined our mindset. They had just,
Yes.
let down to the self-confidence of ourselves. And they had, wrongly dominated themselves. They had imposed the Macaulay's education policy and ruined our ancient Gurukul system, which had, and also we are lacking in unity. Otherwise, we had brilliance in our nations as you. As also after
You
independence,
are
many
Falguni,
5-year plans have been.
okay, sorry to interrupt you, Falguni. Uh, uh, you are all only talking about the history portion of India. Okay, so what we are talking about is the current scenario. Like currently, if we are like suppose the Britishers have given us some Western rules and regulations, and they have given us some Western mindset. Then still, if Indian culture was that strong, it should have been not it should not have been following the Britishers, and should be following its own cultural things, right? So right now what's happening, the Indians are really inclined toward the Western culture because of its pros that they are seeing, like there is gender equality, then like I'm just highlighting some points that you can use in your debate section. So there is gender equality in Western culture, but it's not seen in India. We still like we still uh, uh, we still differentiate between a girl and a boy. Okay, we still have some we still have some bad the social issues like child labor, dowry. Okay, the sati system has been removed. Okay, then a veil system, everything is there. Like in rural areas, when you go, you see the women, they are not living their own, like they are completely dependent on their husbands for their allowances and for their livings, right? So this is not seen in the Western culture. They completely follow the individualism. Okay, and there is also gender equality there like they have income equality, they have a pay parity. Okay, also like their culture is different from ours, I understand, but still due to the overpopulation, India is lacking in many developmental things, okay, that I consider is not good for a country. So these are the points that you can use further in your like there is caste system, there is reservation. So these societal issues, their societal rules and government rules are ruining India. Okay, so according to me, these should be changed. So what are your views on it, Riti? Hello, yeah, Riti, what's your
I
point?
think that I think that gender equality is more practiced in the Western culture rather than the Indian culture. Like there are more job opportunities for women, and there's little to no there's little to nothing as like child labor or anything like that. And women have like more job opportunities and have more say in everything else.
Yes, in Western culture, yeah. That's great. Uh, so who wants to speak next against, yeah, Nandini? So what are your views? What Riti has said on?
My views are like, Didi, malab,
This
according
debate
to
is
our
going
Indian
to
tradition.
just a moment. This debate is going to end in 10 minutes, I think. So if you guys can wrap up this in 10 minutes, that will be fine. Let's see who wins. So you have only 10 minutes to do that. Okay, start.
So, although India is a very like it is based upon rural economy, as all we know, and today also still majority of Indians in rural areas especially, they are illiterate, and that is why there is a lack of development in Indian society in some areas like that of education or health sector. But still, India is very unique in its features, or it's unique in its culture tradition, as uh, with heavy population, or with as a populous country, they live together, they live in unity. That is what we call as that unity in diversity. They celebrate festivals together, and different religions, different cultures are respected. Although there are many limitations in Indian society, as all as Kushag and Riti had said about it, but still India is a very kind of India is a tradition. Yeah, Indian tradition is actually based upon the idea of helping, kind of uh, sympathy, a kind of kindness towards each other. They live together. There is a strong sense of spirituality that is incorporated in our Indian culture. Like there are many values,
People can
spiritual
unmute
values that are
yourselves.
incorporated. Like
People can unmute yourselves, and whoever want to interrupt, they can. Okay.
there are many spiritualistic values that can be learned from the Indian tradition, like yoga, like to make for the healthy development, or for healthy physical and mental development. Yoga is there, and
Okay,
many
so
medicinal
Nandini,
treatment herbs.
Nandini, let me interrupt you here. That you said that most of the things have been derived from Indian culture, right? For say, Falguni has said that drainage system and everything we have derived from Indian culture, the traditional medicines and all that. But don't you think that all of this, like we were always unable to use it, but this thing is being used in Western area. In other countries they are using our formulas to make good medicines and they are selling us back again, right? So don't you think that even after having this much rich heritage we are not using it at all? So what's the like benefit
Due
of
to,
having all this?
I think due to lack of awareness, people are not aware about the benefits of this kind of these kinds of natural things that are available
Okay,
within Indian
I
culture.
think
Like,
Falguni
uh,
has raised the
like
hand, so she can speak. Like you can directly speak, okay? You don't have to raise your hand, okay? Because we have only 5 minutes, 45 seconds to end up this meeting. Yeah, Falguni, start.
Yeah. One of the most significant feature of Indian culture is that it is based on the principle of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which says that all the world is one family, and that's why we are performing very well and up to the mark on the international platforms like UN and all that stuff. And post independence, our first prime minister had formulated the policy of non-alignment movement, where we were not uh, following, where we were not biased towards any particular theory or that is of capitalism or of communism. We were in a mixed state where we had taken good elements of both of the theory. And as my fellow supporter Nandini had said right now, unity in diversity, that concept. And so in this concept, it is very apt to say that India is based on the theory, united we stand and divided we fall. So it is very apt to say here
Okay.
that.
So, Kushagra, you have any views?
That's all from my side.
Yes, actually, why I prefer to speak on the Western culture is because we have a standardized mark set over worldwide, in international level also. Today, if in this timeline, if we denote what culture is existing in both West and in India, it is likely to denote that we are fighting over the wearable items, the clothes, the hairstyles, the lifestyle that we are living, the food that we are eating. All this is denoting the culture that we are following. I prefer Western culture over Indian culture a bit more, is because since my birth I have wear shorts, t-shirts, shirts, pants, trousers,
Yes.
jeans, all this stuff. I am
Hmm.
comfortable with it.
Hmm.
I can speak only for me.
So according to
I
Kushagra, they have produced some like comfortable clothings. Okay, like for example, like if we consider the sari, okay, who wants to wear sari these days? Neither like in urban areas, it's completely vanished. They just wear it whenever it is necessary, like in some occasions. So for just to show off, they just wear it. Otherwise, sari and all the dhoti kurta, they are not worn in daily basis. Okay, so I think the clothing system we have derived from Western culture. Here the Kushag stands correct. Now if yeah, you can go ahead.
in my opinion, if I say about the historical background of Indian culture, it is so vast that I think we all can speak for over an hour on this. But if we are speaking about Indian culture versus Western culture today, then we must also specify this particular timeline. Like
Yes. Right now,
today,
what's happening in our country? Yeah, we should consider that.
we are mixing every good thing with each other. Uh, Girls and boys now wear kurta, kurta over jeans also, kurtis over jeans also.
Yeah. So we
And
have adapted the co-ed learning system, which
yes,
like earlier we used to have in India the Gurukul system for the schooling of children, but right now we are having like uniforms of the kind of uniform the Western people wear. We are having that kind of uniform, or as well as the activities in our country. Also, I will mention one thing, that the festivals, like for example, the festival I'm forgetting, that where we, where we assume the costumes of ghost. What's that?
Halloween.
Halloween, yeah.
Halloween.
Halloween, Christmas, like they are being celebrated like blindly here. Okay. And also the Valentine's Day, all of this, we are westernizing ourselves because we are loving that. And we are forgetting our culture.
Burning firecrackers in Diwali also is not Indian culture properly.
Okay.
We used to light up, diyas.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna continue these kinds of debates many times a week. So if you people are interested, you can join me. And yeah, right now I'll have to wrap up this whole debate. And this was really nice talking to you all. I hope that we meet again soon with a great topic. So best of luck, all of you, and see you soon. Bye bye.